expected it.
Oh, Kisei! Daily reminder to stay hydrated, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the LCO, delivered by Menulog. Of course, it's time for Game 3. It's time for one that you guys have been waiting for. It's Peace up against Order. Peace, of course, losing a little bit of consistency this week. Last week, 2-0 week, super week, not able to find their feet, getting real close yesterday in that game against Mammoth, but unfortunately couldn't take us across the line. But they've got another shot here against Order, who, look, unluckily for Peace, bouncing back real hard with a big win yesterday.
Yeah, I will say for Peace, however, they did look better in certain places yesterday. Tien's honestly been rising back to his former glory, I suppose. He's been fantastic, but can he actually keep up with his opponents, Order, who were on a tear yesterday, is always the big question. Kisei was a beast in his own right.
Let's bring up the Order roster, have a quick look here as well. Kisei popping off yesterday, having one of the greatest games I feel like we've seen from him in a while, a long time, or just, you know, maybe a split or so. The man, I feel like, came into this, you know, split one with being that sort of big name, like one of the big pickups for Order, because he had a huge performance for Chiefs in the previous year, and coming into this split, starting to really find his own. I feel like he's maturing as the time goes on as well. But then you got to look to Puma. The man's a CS machine. As Prater said in the interview yesterday, you never really have to worry about him in the early game. You know, he's just sort of farming away, trying to do all the passive right things. But then also, when it comes to games, you know, against Peace like this, they just perform.
Yeah, I mean, it is International Kisei Day. I've been waiting all evening to say that. He's a guy who, if you've played with him in solo queue, you know he has the ability to just turbo 1v9 any game. You don't know when it's going to happen, but you do know that it does happen.
Yeah.
That's not really the Kisei that we've seen in the LCO so far, since he's joined. And I think we saw a bit of that towards the end of last split, I think particularly in that finals best of 5 when we started to see him really pop off.
Yeah.
And we saw it last night as well. I think when this guy's playing at his peak, he has the ability to be the best player in the competition.
Yeah.
But we just don't see that peak often enough.
That's certainly correct. Now, look, going towards the top lane, though. Bio, big performance yesterday on the Zac, which caught a few people off guard, but apparently not PGG because he's been playing it a lot in solo queue. Either way, PGG couldn't take it out. Do you think we're going to see some more Zac today? And how do you think Tien's going to deal or be ready for that?
I mean, I'm sure Tien's got a million options, such as the Poppy that he's put a million games into. He might see the Zac and just be like, yeah, it's juicy. Yep. That's a Poppy angle.
It is juicy, that's correct.
I feel like Tien does have a history of succumbing to off-meta picks, though. I don't know if anyone else has Teemo PTSD. But
True.
I could see that happening. Zac is sort of an on and off pick. I think there's a few really famous Korean solo queue players who are Zac top one tricks. You'll see them sometimes in like montage videos and such. So I think Zac's not bad. I really like it as a counter to Sejuani, actually. That was the first time I'd seen it picked into the Sejuani, and I could see it working.
Do you think Cheon's a Zac one trick, or has ever been a Zac one trick?
I think Cheon has probably not played a single game of Zac ever in his entire life.
Well, let's ask the man, because we got him on the line. Cheon, have you ever played Zac?
No, I haven't yet before.
I knew it.
Hello.
There you go.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Have you ever one-tricked anyone in that ADC role, though?
Not yet. I play all the A carry.
Yeah, too good. Too
What are you playing
diverse.
tonight?
maybe Aphelios. Maybe.
Don't tell us.
Yeah.
Maybe Aphelios, maybe not Aphelios. Hopefully Order aren't watching. Either way, how are you expecting bot lane to go tonight? Look, you're going up against Puma. Man's been insane in terms of his statistics. Are you just gonna do your thing, not worry about him too much? What's the plan?
Yeah, I'm not worried about too much. I'm just doing my own thing, like just doing well early game, and we're not making like mistake, and we can still win the team fight, and we can win a game.
Very good.
What's it been like coming back to the LCO?
I want to keep like improve myself, because I did very like bad last split 1 in the playoffs. Yeah, So I just want to try come back and just keep improve myself.
Very good. And now it's International Kissing Day. Last question before we wrap up the interview. Who is the most smoochable on your team?
Maybe Happy. Happy.
It's always happy.
Happy.
It's always
Happy,
happy.
happy.
Yeah, always happy.
There you go. Anyway, we'll let you go and get ready for the game, Cheon. Good luck this evening.
Okay. Thank you.
Always good to chat with him. Man was, he's just chill.
Yeah.
He's ready for a big game.
Vibing.
Got a
Real.
point to prove.
Not much pressure. Now, no pressure on you guys. That's a lie. Lots of pressure. Put them in. Twitch points on the Dare fan vote. Get them in. Let us know how you think this game's going to go. Is it order? Is it peace? Is it both of them? You can only vote on one with your Twitch points, which we're all out of. We were talking about that earlier. But you guys hopefully, have made a decent amount by predicting correctly. And if not, then just hang in there. You'll get them back eventually.
Bet all your channel points on this game.
Yeah, 100%.
That's
However many you have, this is the most important decision you're going to make tonight. Pick a team, dump them all in there.
carbon spoken. You have to listen. The man, he's knowledgeable. Oh,
Congratulations, peace.
no. Congratulations,
The
peace.
curse continues.
Kitty did it. Kitty.
It was
So for anyone that didn't watch yesterday, a lot of people that were the sole one-team predictor and the other went for 3, the person that predicted on their own kept getting it right.
Yeah.
And that curse is now maybe moving into today. I guess we will see. So Order, look, tough luck. Kitty's cursed you.
Does it count if it's Kitty voting for peace, though? I feel like that's like another law of its own.
Yeah, there is an extra layer there, isn't there?
Yeah.
So, the magic's been slightly lost.
Someone's
We'll
going to have to do
find
the
out.
maths on that.
We'll find out which curse is more powerful.
He doesn't want to let her friends down. That's the thing. Now, are we expecting anything crazy from Champ Select, which is ready, by the way, but I refuse to go anywhere. So let's bring it up, see what's happened so far.
Oh, all right.
I should do Champ Selectors for
Fair
us.
enough.
Yeah,
Why not?
I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to, make him
No, that's
sit
fair.
with you guys
That's
again.
fair.
Let's just do it as a
extra
group.
space.
Leave
I'm
you guys
vibing.
your personal space.
Yeah.
So what's happened so
That's
far,
Skimmy
Rusty?
Man spread.
I miss Skimmy.
What's happened to me? To the draft so far from me, we've got Belveth Hovered. I would say
let's go.
Hey.
Yes.
Oh, yes, I haven't seen Lisa on it yet.
It was the only other team.
Yes!
The only other team that have been hovering or getting bans towards it, so it's cool to see
Yeah.
that Lisa will get it.
Well, I know Lisa does
It was
play it in
both
solo
teams,
queue,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
Lisa plays the Chad build, which is either Frostfire or Sunfire Gauntlet. Bork first, so you're still
Okay,
building that
okay.
off tank
Yeah.
like normal. Bork, Death Stance, Maw, etc. But the mythic is the tank mythic.
And is that the Chad build?
I call that the Chad build, yes.
Because you can go, you last longer, right? You're a bit more Chad. You're bigger, you're stronger, Giga Chatty.
Depends on what
Well,
you
it's
mean
because
by
I
Chad.
like it. Yeah, what I like is Chad. That's the logic.
So let's
more or
talk
less.
about this real quick, because Seraphine for the first
Oh,
time this
okay.
week has been left unbanned. There's been a Trundle specifically taken away,
Yep.
and Twitch and Zeri both banned. Usually Twitch is picked as a counter to the Zeri.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've had very odd ban phases, which means that Center Seraphine can be easily locked in. And with Seraphine being flexible, I'm very curious how their comp actually pans out.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So you leave the center up, and then you pick the kill lane.
I'm sure Kitty's kicking herself not being here right now because she even told us, right, that Cheon would be more likely than Violet to play the Callista, I believe. So kind of exciting to see that. That's another one of those picks that you were screaming for many, many weeks.
Oh, and we still have Sedge pickable too,
The thing
which
with-
is
the
that
thing with
combo
Callista
Kitty was talking about.
is that I often see it picked into mostly Ezreal. That is the free counter lane, where Callista in any other lane is much harder to execute as a kill lane, and you're more reliant on your support. So this is a gun crab lane 100%,
Sure.
and then Callista just doubles down on that success. If the hooks hit, they kill. If they don't, then Callista does nothing.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously kill pressure at 6 as well. You don't necessarily need to land that hook post level 6. It'd be interesting to see whether Order send this Seraphine mid, perhaps, after
Yeah.
seeing the Callista Naught.
Is it a Kisei champion?
Kisei, I don't expect him to play the Seraphine. It's possible. But there's the options on the table.
Here's the thing that is good, though, is the Belveth composition is already poised to contest Herald. 3 champions in, unlike what we saw from Order when they locked in a Vayne and a Corki with
Yeah.
their Belveth. This team's ready to win early game and let the Belveth actually exist and scale into the game with the massive buff that you get from securing Herald.
Yep.
So I like this a lot more from Peace already. And I do think the big question remains on what would you actually play bottom, because Callista struggles a lot into things that can slow you down, stop you from hopping around constantly. Center actually does really well at that.
Yep.
But oftentimes you'll need to have a carry champion that can do that also, or can facilitate dealing with the Nautilus. So if it's a Seraphine, I feel like Peace just go crazy and try and kill early.
Yeah, I mean, the issue here, or not the issue, but I guess the challenge will be for Peace to really capitalize, right? If it is the Seraphine center bot lane, we need to see Peace make something happen. Because if they don't, they're getting steamrolled post 25.
This says to me, though, like looking at all the bans, they've really put a lot of investment into not only protecting the Belveth, but also the Kalista, right, to actually have some uptime. Trundle, Nah, as well as Sejuani, you want to make sure that they get a lead early, that they do certainly snowball, and they can look to try and out-snowball the likes of a Viego Lissandra pairing, which we don't need any more introduction towards, right? If they get the kill, they absolutely outplay what Peace can put together.
Get that reset, steamroll the team fight, do the Viego thing.
Still wouldn't mind a tank top, I feel like, here for TN. Depends on the build of the Swain, because it could just be a Swain top and a mid laner picked into Lissandra if you wanted.
Yeah, I feel like there is the potential. Okay.
Max having the game of his life here. All you need is order to pick Master Yi or something. And we've just
Have we not just said that Belveth is literally Viego and Shyvana combined, and we just
Olaf
said,
top.
let's just play them all.
Hold up.
Let's just play them all.
That is an Olaf top lane.
Shyvana's going top.
Shyvana versus Olaf top.
Okay, this is scary because Shyvana doesn't want to take flash, but of course Olaf tags you with an axe. All of a sudden, you're in an all-in. So we'll see what DN does, how Lisa plays around that. But I really like this Olaf pick into the Shyvana.
Who do you think got the better hand of this one, Carbon?
I would rather play the Peace draft. I feel like having early control, stacking early Drakes, especially that first Rift Herald fight, the ability to push 2 towers with the Rift Herald and those little purple minions.
Yep.
I think that's really scary. I do like Swain into the front line of Order, but I think where Order really shines is in the late game. If they can get through this early game without having that bot lane explode, Senna is really good into Kalista later on. Seraphine is insane right now, scales so well. So it's a preference, you know. Do you want to scale? Do you want to fight early? For me, I like the early control.
Yeah, beauty. I'm really excited for this one, as you quite rightly point out, because it seems to be a case as we say goodbye to Mac and Carbon off to the green room, as we can now break this one down, Rusty. I mean, yeah, I think it's a valid point, right? If it is a case of saying that Puma is going to be, you know, a strong laner who's just going to want to focus on CSing, but then realize that true potential later on, sure, he's going to have that range advantage to try and make a Kalista's life a bit of a misery, but it's getting there, right?
Getting there is always going to be the issue for sure. The fact that Order played this Belveth already does make me feel like they've been scrimming with it, right? They're familiar with the pick. They might be able to deal with it nicely. It's existed in solo queue for quite some time, just not in competitive. And it does mean that a lot of the game starts to swing around this Rift Herald. That is obviously the point that we're going to be looking at. And with your standard 8-minute full 5v5 flips towards the top side of the map, that's always going to be a big beacon that we'll look at here for both respective teams. And does Puma group, does he just go for the triple plates? Is it worth just staying in a side lane when you get too much value from the coral that you get as Belveth in that situation? We'll see how this does play out. Corporal has got his Enchanter.
I love that.
But he is farming potentially. More often than not, of course, would be. We have seen some centers farm, but it is very, very unlikely. So it should be Corporal farming here on this Seraphine. But into kill threats everywhere, it's a dangerous game.
Certainly is. This is a very spicy draft, a chance for us to see what it looks like when an Olaf top finally makes its way into the meta. It was poised at for such a long time, ever since that durability patch, but we were yet to ever see it. But now we finally do, and that is such an exciting prospect for us. Well, this really is a bit of a grudge match for both of these teams, as Peace and Order do battle against each other. The biggest thing for me, Rusty, is the fact the manner in which Peace lost this game last time, right? If you date your mind back, it was literally 1 kill is all that Peace could get, and it was Order throwing every single punch. You remember that huge dive bot where they invested literally everything? It kind of floundered, but it just kept going and going again.
The fight that never ends, the strategy that never changes. This is a very interesting one. I like that Order grouped up as 5 at level 1 as well. This is a very underrated facet of Olaf. But when Olaf was a jungler and the way that people used to set up on the map was with a 5-point start, if Olaf found you, hit you with an axe, you're dead. He actually just chases you by throwing axes off cooldown until you've ran back to your base, but you've been killed from the axe damage. And one other thing to consider here is that Kalista has no protection from an Olaf. There is nothing in this game that will stop Biopanther from ghosting and ulting and being on top of your head dealing damage. You can't use a Nautilus. He has only got stuns and ways to protect you that an Olaf ultimate gets through.
Yeah.
Kalista gets slowed by the Olaf axe, and it's doomed. It is just doomed, but does have to deal with top lane first.
Certainly does. Both running the Ghost TP in Enchant to get themselves online here nice and early. Flash would obviously be fantastic, but not a luxury that they can afford. And that is going to be the big question, for me at least, is with all the investment towards bans to make sure that this very early Kalista pick would shine, hoping for a very successful laning phase coming out of this P spot team.
I'm expecting a big spotlight to be onto Gunkrab and Cheon here, because if ever there was a game to prove a point, it would be this one from Gunkrab and from Cheon. Level 2 first, Flash is missed. Puma flashes just purely out of respect. That was a minion early by Gunkrab, but if the hook hits, I mean, Cheon could probably secure the minion and they continue forwards. Trading flashes there is huge, even though Gunkrab was like 20 degrees off.
I respect the aggression, though. Absolutely. Why not? And the fact that, yeah, as you saw, Puma took no chances whatsoever, wasn't going to afford any kind of crazy shenanigans, even if the angle wasn't on. Can't help but feel like Nautilus shenanigans could be playing amok.
And in contrast to last game when we spoke about the center from Limas being able to freely hit the entire time, not the case.
No way near.
Not the case for this center.
No, out goes the damage to start things off as Gunkrab goes in. Procs and Exhaust, or Procs and Ignite rather. The heal's going to be slightly reduced as Puma's trying to answer back in some sort of fashion. Going to proc himself a couple of stacks. But Chain has actually copped the worst end really off this one.
Oh,
Even going to cop
Chain.
the center.
Yeah, I thought he had kill threat. I thought they had all in kill threat, but he never rendered, and it means he must have made a mistake on perhaps a minion or a rend on the way to that fight. And really, Corporal and Puma out-sustain. If you don't kill the center Seraphine, you lose lane to the center Seraphine. So the fact that Chayon has to go back to base here, it's okay because he didn't expect to summon a spell. They did use the Ignite though, and Gunkrab with Hex Flash does still mean they kind of have a summoner spell there. But they lost a window. They had a genuine window of opportunity to go for that kill. That's going to be completely missing now. And in fact, I would say they're on the back foot as they've afforded a free reset for Order, which is something that they definitely needed.
Difference in summoner options in that bot lane, however, will be that Corporal is running the teleport. We have seen that from a fair few of these Seraphines in that bot lane.
Yeah.
And Ezreal as well, right, has been running TPs in the bot lane. Chan still, thankfully for him, still has Flash, still has Cleanse.
That's where actually we've seen a lot of Twitches kill most bot lanes 2v2 is they'll run the Ignite and have an extra summoner spell. The person with Teleport just dies level 2 every single game. Top lane's a really important point to check in on. As per what Carbon said, TN can get very easily chased down running Ghost into an Olaf, but at the same time, I think the reality is they both just want to be pushing waves and clearing as best they can. The changes to Olaf, that shield you just saw from him is one of those. And most of the attack speed and everything comes from his base passive now. Has the Cull and a Doran's shield, so clearly not showing any intent to fight. And there is really only one player that comes to my mind when I think of Olaf top lane, and that is Chippies, the coach for Pensnet.gg. He's always been a very good Olaf top player, and when I saw the changes to Olaf, I did think he could be played top lane. We saw Bwipo then play it like a week later, I believe, in the LCS, and absolutely demolished a Gnar. Solo killed him in like 20 minutes and just steamrolled the game from that solo kill. Haven't really seen it otherwise from games that I've been watching. But when we have seen it, usually it's the person who can play those unique champions. Bio, I don't want to say it's the Bwipo of Os, but like in terms of champion pool, it certainly feels that way. In terms of play style, it kind of feels that way as well.
Very diverse champion pool, right? Really has played literally anything that his team needs. Can be the hard carry, can be the tank, can be the enchanter if necessary. But Tien certainly fits the bill as well. Has played a wide variety. Played Sejuani last split as well. With the Shyvana when it first got debuted, even before Sejuani became this hot new top lane pick.
So Peace are going to secure themselves here this objective. They've got enough control of bot lane. They have control of mid. You can see Appy hovering. Lisa is afraid of dying. He's just going to smite to make sure he doesn't die. And Appy's going to secure the money because he's a greedy guts. And this is all well and good. 6 minutes in the game. It's all kind of whatever. Bot lane, a wave behind in farm. Doesn't make a huge amount of difference for Corporal and Puma. In fact, Corporal, while out of mana, has got teleport. That hook was a bit of a freak show.
That's a bit of a how you going, isn't it? Thread the needle, suddenly didn't hit the Seraphine, but actually went onto Puma instead. Another Ignite off cooldown goes on through, and the pierce into the range just wasn't enough.
Corporal needs to base and teleport back in, so the fact that he's even staying is wasting a lot of time. No mana. Gunkrab hits a hook before that recall comes through. Puma's really just waiting for the teleport to come onto the turret, and then he'll show back up to the wave. All things considered, that's really favorable for Peace. No idea how that hook found Puma. But where there's a will, there's a way. But still, the main point that I wanted to say before that hook hit, Rift Herald 1 minute.
Yeah, and that's the big one, right? Because both junglers have put a big focus on just full clearing. Really left these laners to their own devices. Level 6, the most important. Both junglers have reset potential. Both can get those ultimate forms, claim that stronger essence by getting a takedown. But most importantly for Belveth, right, wants that Herald for the extra duration.
And already, if we want to talk about setup, Biopanther teleports back to top lane to create tempo around the top side of the map. So he's able to either push the wave in really hard if he wants to place a deep control ward, or just hold the wave exactly where he wants it to be in a more neutral state. He could even potentially slow build a large wave with this next one crashing, triple it up even potentially. And then that will coincide with the timing of an 8-minute Herald. So TN now has to make the decision on, do I stay if Biopanther dips? So the Herald being started on cooldown. Or they're also going to reset their bot lane towards the Herald. At the very least, Puma is going to be here, and the teleport from Kisei comes through. So this is clear intent by Order in terms of setup, in terms of wave control, and in player assignments, that this Herald will not be given for free at 8 minutes.
Only TP left in the game right now is Tien, but Appy going to go into the Demonic Ascension form for the meantime, can cycle through those cooldowns in just a second as he looks to try and lock in Puma. Once again, flash on cooldown, flash across the wall there from Appy, looking for the claw, but he couldn't drag him back. Chaeyan comes in and finally secures first blood that eluded him all the way back in laning phase. Fate's Call goes out, Gunkrab goes left, but the hook goes out right. Kisei with a self-cast of that frozen tomb, but Gudo with the Heartbreaker trying to end the dreams of Peace as he finds one. Now battling it out here onto Chaeyan for a double. And that's what he'll get.
And they're hitting the Rift Herald. It is at 4,000 health. Biopanther will get into the fray. They're into the pit.
Can they steal this one away? In jumps Tien with the Dragon form. Lane down the Dragon's Breath. Biopanther's found that kill on towards Lisa, who couldn't get that Coral form. On towards Tien as well. And the top half of Order has just exploded into life.
And if you want to play predictable League of Legends, Order will set up better than you, and they will hit their first punch better than you. Keep in mind that Corporal wasn't even there for the entirety of that fight. Order now 4-2 in scoreline, or they may not secure the full Herald outright. There was still something garnered by Peace. Look at the force from them here. Gunkrab flashing forwards. We're back bottom, Corporal in trouble.
No, we can't have time to look at that replay. We've got to see what happens now. Is there a punishment on towards Corporal, who will just literally flash away at the very last moment and gets away scot-free?
Much improved by Gunkrab on the hook, though, because even if it missed this time, it did connect with a wall. That is actually a marked improvement from him. However, Corporal's flash was quite good. If anyone's going to know what Nautilus does, it is the support Nautilus player. And will be able to get himself out with his life, though did overstay to require the flash having to be used. All things considered, 3-0 is the jungle scoreline for Gudo. Best case scenario for them. At least it doesn't get a chance to use the Herald. And that's the funny thing, right? Like, everyone on planet Earth sees this Belveth and says, this is where it's happening. And it did happen. And we spoke about some of the setups that Order had. And I think a big part of those setups enabled them to make the force so hard and forward by Peace to get anything. And ultimately losing a 4v5. Look at all the flashes they expended. And I'm pretty sure every single one of them was forwards.
Yeah, even Lisa flashing in to try and get the isolated kill onto Puma, where it all really began. But it does feel like they're almost at that beacon in the sky as to, we've drafted Belveth, that first Herald, you better meet us there, because that's exactly what we're going to do, much like a Shyvana jungle, right? That first Drake, meet us here. That's what we want. And we're going to do literally everything to try and secure it.
Which they have. Oval after school.
Yeah, that's it. They have secured the Herald, right? But that is the consequence of which you've just made a very fed Viego now suddenly exist.
It wasn't the true form from Belveth, was it?
No.
So that's like, again, that's the real, like, getting the Herald is nice. Getting the Drake actually is really nice from them. Biopanther.
Biopanther could have been in trouble, so he's going to hit that Ragnarok right now, immune to all kinds of CC. Ooh. Oh, very close to getting the kill, but Tien will get that kill towards Biopanther, and Puma snipes it with the Dawning Shadow from bot lane.
And when Puma gets into the mix, a little bit late with the center ultimate, but is able to find the kill at the very least, so we'll be super happy with that outcome. Mythic completed from Biopanther. The Stride Breaker is there. In Order now knowing that Peace have showed their hand, what are they going to do in response? Because they do have the Viego bot lane. Gunkrab and Cheon showing mid. It's going to be a whole lot of turret plates bottom.
Yeah, a lot of protection there shown by Gudo as well. Just roaming and hanging out in the bot side brush, making sure that this turret will be completely taken. If not, the final plate removed from the equation. A TP comes in there from Appy, but instantly rooted in place. Piece a little bit too late to the party.
True form at the very least was secured this time by Lisa. Got something from it. Herald summoned bot lane, however. We'll see where they choose to play this one. Or how, rather, they choose to play this one. We know exactly where it is. The true form is gone.
Yep. Nowhere near as long if it's not on the Herald, only 60 seconds. If you aren't able to claim that coral. Just waiting around. Drops the encore. Nice sidestep from Appy. Really only targeted towards him. But he had ample room to maneuver.
And so the charge will be confirmed, but beyond that charge, really nothing else is there. This top lane matchup gets so interesting from this point because it is a bruiser build for both of them. In reality, you're expecting Tien to go for the Demonic Embrace type tanky Shyvana from this point like we've seen from him before. Olaf, a very similar idea, Stride Breaker into any kind of damage but also health items. Humor caught.
He is caught indeed, dragged back there by Appy, who once again ascends into the night. Hits them with a fair bit of damage, and that's a two-man knockoff from Gunkrab. You love to see that. Cheyen's found one, Appy found the second, and now they're on for that next fight.
And the ADC missed time in the ward placements. Tell me support's easy. Skimmy, tell me support's easy.
True.
Gets caught out there. Very nicely done by Peace. Gudo just left to pick up the pieces that are left there, and that is to protect the turret more than anything else. Haven't really seen a single thing from Kisei yet, truth be told. He's just been pushing mid. Has a 20 CS advantage, has a couple of plates in mid as well. One plate more specifically in mid. But overall has been mostly invisible. And in my mind, I'm always going to do this. I'm drawing a direct comparison to Tally on Lissandra, who is just infinitely active, always finds angles, gets active around the map. We are at a point now where we'll put ourselves into more of a 1-3-1 lane assignment. This is the Seraphine Senna Oasis. Does mean that Lissandra will find a lot more angles to move.
Certainly is. Very hard to bully these two out of the mid lane with the amount of sustain that they have. But you'd love to see Kisei now link up with Gudo, who's incredibly fed at this point of the game.
30 seconds till Herald 2.
Expect to see Peace look to try and hard force once again. A lot of those summoners are available. All those flashes on the left-hand side of your screen there to utilize.
All first items there, all mythics there, most members grouped up. Biopanther actually with his team already, not looking for the teleport into the play. Wants to be here to stand and deliver from the very get-go. Piece of the team that have the engage, but Order are the ones that are looking to hit Herald on spawn. Let's see how Peace choose to play this out. Because they'll want to fight.
Yeah, Appy was pushing top. In goes Tien now, looking to try and TP into the fight to try and make things happen. Lisa not there for the moment. Gunko's been locked in place there by the Encore. Chen actually forced to use the cleanse as well because it just went so far away. The leash on Shelly as well. Trying to act as the sixth member here for Order.
Sweepers will come through and they'll deny all of the vision from Peace, and it feels like they are just going to concede the Herald. I feel like Gunkrab just tried to join Order. That was so mistimed. That was so ill-timed by him. He hooks forwards with no one there.
Timing was off. I mean, positioning, you saw where Lisa was, right? At their own blue buff. Tien was coming in with the TP.
Yeah, Lisa was going for a flank. Tien was on the top side as well. You just had to wait 5 seconds. Let him hit Herald.
Yeah.
Your goal is the Herald. If you want to fight for it, just be patient.
Now Peace going to be licking their wounds and looking to try and go for the scraps, which is this third Drake that has spawned. That's up in 10 seconds, so back to the mid lane dance we go again. Kisei's pushing topside. He does have that TP, so a chance for him to get a little bit more pressure on the map. 2k gold up at the moment. Inline track again for Order.
And it is going to be commenced. This is 2 objectives in a row. The Biopanther has been here from the very start of the fight. Has the ult. No more ghosts, though. Herald going to be summoned for mid. Peace now find themselves pressured. Appy shows that he's on a flank. Will Order contest this? It doesn't matter when they could push mid instead.
Yeah, if he's got Flash Exhaust, Peace feel high pressure to do something, so they're going to say, we have to take this Drake. That they will do, but the Herald is going to headbutt and absolutely destroy the mid-tier 1.
Second charge here actually as well, Skimmy, so they 100% will get some more. That Hex Flash does not cover the distance required to engage, and there's still minions alive.
Elisa in that true form now, fancies his chances, going to have a crack at Biopanther as he hits the challenging smite, looking to try and lay down some damage. Cops a center route and then sees the TP coming in. He doesn't fancy that anymore. He's being locked in place for the Frozen 2, but they make it a double as they've just removed 2 from the equation. Bio is now 4-1. A last pick Olaf proving wonders.
Absolutely putting in work. They try and engage on the Olaf in the first place, who just cops it. Doesn't actually feel any kind of concern whatsoever. The Seraphine ultimate was fantastic. Corporal, a true support, will stop his base to allow Puma to recall, but then realizes Puma's doing the same thing because there's stacks in this wave. And they'll both go back to base eventually. Order absolutely having a field day when it comes to the 5v5s. Never in doubt of losing one of them at all. It's Lisa that starts it. So you see the true form, you see the damage that it does. Biopanther absolutely has to respect it, but Senna hits the W. Teleport comes in, and Lissandra off this teleport with the flash and the home guards will cover enough distance. You don't really get to play Bel'Veth into a Lissandra. If she's going to lock you down, you're just stuck. Especially when you rush Blade of the Ruin King. However, it is going to be the tanky item second here from Lisa. Frostfire the most likely choice. Will at least be able to survive a bit more in future, but needs a team around it, you know? Needs something to help allow this Bel'Veth pick to shine.
Certainly do. Hasn't been the prettiest introduction for the latest champion in the Rift, at least on the competitive landscape.
Not in Oast, to say the very least. We saw it in the LEC. I believe it was Haru that played it. The first game we saw of it, it did win. It looked actually quite solid. I would say, ultimately, and this is just my take on the champion, I legit have 5 minutes in practice still playing it. That's all I've done for like feel vibes, but you never really would want a 5v5 because you don't operate the same way that a Viego does in team fights. You don't have those stuns. You would rather have skirmishes or picks to start the 5v5s to get the resets into it. So I feel like you would excel in a good pick composition if there is someone that can stand in front of you. Because you can't be a sole frontliner as a DPS frontline. So Shyvana could come into the mix, right? 2 full tank items absolutely can stand in front, execute the fights. The question becomes, what enables the reset? What enables the coral to be dropped, right? To be able to actually get that. Because no matter how much lavender stacks you get and how fast your attack speed is, you need to attack something with your life still there. That's why often you'll just see a Bel'Veth dip into side lanes. Pressure the sides.
I mean, conventionally it has been looked at as a carry champion, right? Kraken Slayer has been the most popular from solo queue. But if you are just going to rely truly on that passive to give you all that scaling, that damage that you require, you just need the durability to actually reach that point.
It's like Nidalee Renekton. You'll always see Nidalee in the Renekton's lane. I feel like that's fairly similar with what you'd like to do with Bel'Veth because it becomes free if you're skirmishing or your 2v2 is superior. So I don't necessarily cop that vibe from a Shyvana Bel'Veth. They kind of operate independently of one another.
"20 minutes in, though, and it's a 4K gold lead for Order, who certainly would be fancying their bets in this one. They're up with a 7-kill window, top half of their draft. The Viego and Olaf have certainly proven their value in this game. And what has been a bit of a quiet start, right, for Kisei in comparison to yesterday, hasn't really been too pressured to do too much. I mean, ultimately, he made that one major move with the TPN, shut down the Bel'Veth, and said you can invest all these picks into making sure that this Kalista pops off. Same could be said for the Bel'Veth and some of the issues they fancy as well, but you can't ban everything.
From 9-0 to 0-1-4. Quite the switch up here from Kisei, 100%. Not an easy game for Chaeyoung to be the hard carrier in either. Lissandra, Viego, Olaf, Senna, as well as the Seraphine all have abilities to slow you down. All with fairly long range with those abilities as well, except for the Viego. So much of this game comes down to what the rest of Peace's composition can do. A good engage from Gunkrab. Appy standing in the front of the fight with the Shyvana. They have so much power to body away Order. That's where I think the crux of this belongs to me.
And just trying to zone away on the side with the Dragon's Descent wrapping around much like Gisei, but he's going to be here first. Gun Crab chucks out a Hail Mary with the hook, but he doesn't find the target he's after, finds nothing actually. As the claw comes out, but no, Gisei will not follow that one.
They don't want Tien to flank. They really want to deal with this Shyvana. A lot of respect being paid towards it. The Drake is going to be started here. Gisei with a wide flank has been spotted on vision, has also been revealed that they know he's there.
Gisei looking to try and jump in again. Gunkrab preempted with that hook. In jumps Tien. Dragon's Descent looking to try and assassinate the bot lane of Order. He got Puma and Corporal very low. Lisa looking for that first reset. He can't find it. Look at the health bar. Corporal has literally 5 HP, but Tien's fighting for his life. He's got a double kill. Now going to translate all those stacks on towards the Drake. Rain to explode and give Peace their third Drake of the game.
That's a really wild, skirmishy type of fight there as well, and that feels like Peace's playground really come to fruition, especially through the results here. We'll see this fight again. Biopanther dealing with Lisa, but has no axe because he missed it at the very start. The Seraphine ultimate was fantastic, but Puma and Corporal were caught in the pit, and they had no health. So Appy chases down Puma. You'll see Lisa chase down Corporal while he doesn't get the kill. The rest of the team is still left to freely hit, and Choyan had a field day.
You got a chance to actually stand and deliver and lay down the punishment that we know Kalista is so well equipped to do in close proximity like that. A chance to celebrate for them, and a great opportunity for them to close that gold lead that Auto starting to pull away with and give themselves now a real win condition in their next Drake.
Yeah, the crazy thing as well is that Appy on this Swain, the later the game goes, the better he has looked on this pick. I have memories of insane 1v5 team fights from him, super confident with his ability to play the champion, and his team fighting has not dropped off between splits. It is the early to mid game where we feel like Peace has really dropped off between splits. So getting to 23 minutes, relatively close to even, is a genuine win chance. One of the things that we rarely see from this squad. In saying that, we have to caveat that with yesterday, they got to late game and they were matched and bested by Mammoth. So they still haven't shown perfections in their late game team fighting. But I do feel like this is a comp that suits them best.
Certainly does. Gives us the makings of what has made Peace so strong and so feared in the past. A lot of early aggression that can certainly allow them to skirmish to their heart's content, and that's what we loved about them. A lot of these players have spent many years together over multiple variations of rosters. Order now going to group up once again. Do a bit of a summoner check and see what's been burnt, and a lot of summoners were burnt in that previous fight, right? Like literally every flash is gone.
Yeah, actually a lot of summoners completely expended. It is one of those situations though when you think of the reason they were fighting being an objective, they'll be back up by the next time the Drake is there. So it just depends on how they want to play around the Baron in the meantime. You know, 24 minutes in, they actually have a decent amount of damage here to take that one down. If you ever make a lapse of judgment and Peace get to hit Baron, they basically one-hit it between Kalista and Belveth. For the side of Order though, doing Baron is not nearly as fast. They have Senna with lethality, and Seraphine is their farming carry, so they're not, you know, in possession of a Blade of the Ruined King building champion either. Nor is it a crit AD. So they don't want to do Baron, they want to bait it. They want to bring Peace towards them, find flank angles from Kisei, get Biopanther into the backline, two big things that they're looking for in terms of their setup. Peace are very happy to just Giga Chad front to back.
Certainly are. And Goodo's going to start things off. Fate's Call comes out nice and early. Cheon taking 0 chances on that one. TP was committed by Kisei. Thinking I had an in there. But just I've noticed for the last few minutes now, Order just hovering around this area, completely protecting, acting as human wards themselves around the Baron pit.
Kalista is like reverse Yuumi. But when you don't trust your support, you just pull them back. Mistake handled, mischief managed.
On the leash.
Yeah, back in.
Too eager.
Where Yuumi is like the can't be targeted to die in the first place. Kalista lane's way more fun, however, for the support to play, because you can just be turbo aggressive, just constantly hunt for kills, and know that you'll be protected if you make a mistake, and you can be more willing in your mistakes that you make. Yuumi just can't be touched, but you can't afford to make a mistake.
No, that's it. That is the crucial difference. Certainly Kalista lanes are fun, as you get to explore the idea of looking like it's an int angle, but it's suddenly been an absolute hero.
Tien pure tank, by the way.
Yeah.
Absolutely 0 damage in his itemization choices here. Straight into the magic resistance second, but Aranduin's... rather, magic resistance third, but Aranduin's second.
I want to say we saw Demonic into like Warmogs last time from memory.
Yeah, he went pure HP and like AP off tank.
Yeah.
And like Demonic is still going to have insane value for him. It is interesting that he's like, in terms of resistances, it doesn't feel like Order have damage. Like looking at their champions, they've got a decent amount between a Viego. Lissandra does some damage, but like 1 MR item will really cover you, and Lissandra's probably not going to hit you. Like Tian's untouchable. I don't even know why Gudo's trying.
Emma going for a bit of a cheeky face check there. Lace on the wall, not going to land. Going to be kicking himself for that one. But it has been cool, calm and collected. You mentioned before those summoners would be back up for that next objective. That's when they were last burnt. Peace want the soul point. Tien on the flank. Going to be rooted to start things off. Going to have to Dragon's Descent away. Now goes the Dawning Shadow right now. A battle between 2 junglers. And Lisa wins. It was low. An early smite there gets punished. And Lisa, as well as Gudo, now hunting for that first reset. Kisei in trouble. And Kisei goes down. In go Peace, hunting for more with a soul point they feel ever so tanky. Flashing forward aggressively. Chaeyan expends double sums and gets a double kill.
Very well done by Peace, right? Not only to just secure the objective, but to win the forthcoming team fight. I said this just before the fight, doesn't feel like they have a lot of damage on the side of Order. I think that's entirely proven true through the outcome of that skirmish. Order flash aggressively. Order choose to take the fight. They want it. They can't kill anyone. They can't convert that into a lead. And so Peace just get to stand there, deal consistent damage, and it really feels like they're starting to scale up into this game to be unstoppable. Lisa's been protected for long enough that he's not going to die from here on out. Baron should be all but free for them. Exceptional team fight.
Huge team fight for them. A very quick Baron acquisition. And now every buff the game has to offer. Let's run it back one more time because it starts with a great route, but still.
But it's also Kisei that goes forwards. It is Corporal that hits an ultimate here as well, right? That's 3 people locked down. Massive engage overall. But no one's going to stop Tien from pushing away Corporal and Puma. Biopanther is peeling, not killing, which means that they're able to freely hit if you're Chaeyan. And Appy's just going to get free cooldowns reset, cycled time and again. That is such a free team fight from Peace. In Order, I'm just not seeing anything that gives me hope yet.
Certainly a rough point to prove when you're 5-1 Olaf is having to peel like that.
Is Seraphine 0% win rate in O's? We haven't seen much of it. It's been permaban this week, but from memory...
What have we had? We've had 2
Voice
games
lost.
with the Seraphine Sona and with everyone. No, I don't believe it has one yet.
That's certainly a thing. Teleport's coming in from Order, actually. They don't want this Baron push to happen.
No, certainly don't. They want to end this game and turn it back in their favor because the gold lead is completely flipped against them now. Peace are forming a 1-4 split.
And
Tien's not stopping.
No one can stop Tien. Turrets don't damage him. He's building now towards his Demonic Embrace build. You've got the monsters spawning from Lisa here as well with every minion that dies around him. So hard to stop this push and nothing to stop the cannon from hitting. Oh, nice stopwatch.
Great stopwatch from Kisei there. Hook was on. That could have been enough there for Peace to try and end this game. A bit of damage on towards Corporal, who's going to try and top himself up, but still, the pressure is relentless right now from Peace. They've still got a whole minute left of this Baron buff.
They have plenty of time to work with. They have plenty of space to work with here as well as the pressure from Tien mounts towards top. Lisa's showing top just to, use the minions to constantly spawn more.
Order really now on damage control. They're going to lose that mid inhibitor, but Bio stepping up aggressively to try and prevent them losing a second. Back and forth, the ebb and flow continues. Peace going forward one more time. The hook goes into Biopanther, not the target they're after. The encore comes out. Tien jumps straight into the backline, but the mist protects them. They're going to look for that second inhibitor. They're going to look for that next kill. On towards Kisei. Golden just a second ago. Golden again, but now this time Grey. He's dead. And Peace now really feeling the pressure to end this game. 15 seconds, and they don't want the curse of yesterday to continue into today. One Nexus turret gone, another hook on from Gunkrab, a 2-man knockup with the ulti. They're on to the Nexus itself, and Order will not get a chance to shine. Peace will get that victory.
And Peace make light work, to be honest, of Order. It was a pretty straightforward start to the game. A couple of shaky early moments. The first Herald fight was incredibly messy, and Order definitely had signs of life. But it felt like we just hit this point of critical mass where Order did absolutely 0 damage, and there was no chance that Peace lost the team fight, and they just stamped them out. Pretty straightforward again in the end. Sometimes it is as simple as just scaling into a game if you put 2 comps together. And that's kind of what we saw.
Kind of is what we saw. I mean, it was definitely a worrying concern, right, when you see a Viego 3-0 at the very beginning of that game, but ultimately they just weathered the storm, and they said we will not have a 0-3 week, actually. We're Peace.
Yeah, I mean, Viego's one of those ones where his base kit is actually not that strong, right? When you consider, like, his QWE, not that relevant. His passive, it's okay, but, like, Viego's not about to take over a game outside of team fights. He really needs to be able to snowball in these team fights, and we saw it once, right? But after that, he didn't really do much. I really thought Order sort of had this game, particularly around that Rift Herald, where Seraphine was just getting plate spot. A few people died, Order snagged a few kills, but they were just so tanky. Man.
Yeah.
Shyvana with 4 dragons and 3 of them being Mountain and Mountain Soul. Belveth getting stacks all game. I mean, Lisa didn't have the best showing, but the scaling was just insane. And then you've got Swain, Callista, Nort, just unkillable. I spoke a little bit about the scaling from Order early on in the draft, but yeah, when you look at Olaf, Viego, Lissandra, there's really not that much juice there.
I feel like, look, playing for the lane there, I think Bio did a really good job, did what he needed to, right? But, you know, as the Shiv, you don't really have much lane presence. You sort of just farm under tower. You come in towards that late game and you hope that you get those Drakes. You hope you scale. And, look, scale he did once he hit that, 3 item mark. That was when he was really just, feeling unkillable. And the extra movement speed as well from the Force of Nature there. This fight in particular, I think Lisa ended up getting, 5 bits of coral, 3 off champs, 1 off the dragon, and then went and got the Baron straight off the back of it for another big stack as well.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he was just doing work by existing near minions and just creating so many of his own little Zerglings there. Crazy days to see, and Order just looked all over the shop from this point. Didn't really know what to do to find an answer there. And look, shoutouts to Bio for that extra damage. I guess that was just hitting the Shiv that never died, though, right?
2 tanks collide in top lane. They're going to have a lot of damage.
Yeah. That gold graph is hilarious.
That gold graph, though, isn't it?
What? Just took off.
The biggest
Astronomical to the moon. I don't know if you guys bought Peace coins before this. I did tell you to bet all your channel points. So whoever got behind Peace, shouts out to you. But Callista and Swain just stayed full health during every team fight. I mean, obviously they both kind of drain tank style builds, but I mean, particularly in that last highlight that we saw, Shyvana burns her ult to get out of the center route. She ults the wrong way, right? But then just walks back into the fight.
Yeah.
I was really concerned when I saw that. I was like, oh, okay, this is the one, Order's going to break them here. But just waltzed straight back into the team fight and made it count.
Look, someone that did waltz, did dance his way to victory today was Dean, and we got him on the line. Mate, first of all, thank you. Shiv top. Always love watching that one. Thoughts going into that when you picked it?
So actually there's one LPL player called Shanji that's always playing Shyvana top, and I actually haven't been playing a lot of solo queue. I've just been playing a lot of TFT, and I was like, you know, we already just lost to Mammoth, Kanga, you know, what wrong could I go? So I just said, screw it guys, today I'm playing Shyvana, no matter what. So yeah, that's the reason why we locked in Shyvana.
All right, cool. And talk to me about that Belveth pick. Finally got to see Lisa on that. It didn't work super well in the early game, but towards that late game, what was he doing? Was he just existing? What was the game plan?
I honestly didn't even notice Lisa was in that game. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what he did.
Come on. Where are these dragon stacks coming from, you reckon?
I mean, we fought that as a team. The first Drake was great, but yeah, I didn't really see Lisa much of that game. All I know is that when he plays this champ, he's like, I have my family, guys. When you get the Rift Herald and he spawns his little kids. It's I'm spawning my family. That's all Lisa really says.
Yeah.
That's his comms. Spawning my family.
Family day out, eh?
Love it.
Good to get a dub. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it is.
True.
Well, out of the teams that we expected to get dubs out of, like this was definitely the unexpected one. I didn't know that Super Week was reverse week because like, I don't know, Order just that game was just their draft was just horrendous. Like,
You think so?
I thought we were troll picking. I mean, yeah, like they just did no damage. Like, yeah, you're right. Our HP bars didn't move, but I actually just also think that their comp does no damage. I think when you pick like this Seraphine champ, you really need like a hyper carry top. Like, Panther locked in Vayne top, yeah, we might be a little bit doomed too.
Yeah, okay. Did you
so
say you weren't worried about the Olaf at all? When he picked Olaf, I sort of thought, oh, maybe if he tags you with an axe, maybe he just chases you down, but you weren't worried?
I was worried, but he started with Thorn Shield, so I know I've already won the mental game. Like, when somebody starts Thorn Shield.
Chad.
So, yeah, I wasn't too worried after that.
There you go. Quickly, one more question before we let you go. Most kissable player on your team, because it's International Kissing Month. Dave.
Most kissable player on my team.
Yeah.
Honestly, I got a kiss Gunkrab after, was it yesterday's game? I don't know. He played Nautilus in one of our games and he kept missing flash hooks. Like, I gotta kiss the homie. Like, it's okay, man. You gotta miss the flash hooks. It happens.
A little
You'll
bit of
hook 'em next
sympathy
time, man.
goes a long way. We'll let you go, T, and thank you very much. And enjoy the W to end the week.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah, I guess to end the gaming week, LCO week.
Say about Gunkrab though, you hit the hooks today. They were
Did.
just the
On
wrong
the wall?
time, the wrong ones. They were the extremely wrong ones.
Yeah.
But he was hitting them.
Yeah, that's true.
I did enjoy that point where you're like, I think Gungrab thought he was playing for Order. We'll laugh at that one. Anyway, Dare MVP discussion. Was it that man on your screen?
It was for me, yeah.
Yeah?
I
Really?
think for
Was
me,
it happy?
the fact that he was able to run into the backline and just untouched, just take down Corporal and Puma, even mind control in Bio to be as incredibly fed as he was, but then say, I have to try and deal with the Shyvana as opposed to just running at somebody like Cheon, making his life a bit of a misery, commands a lot of respect.
Okay. That or...
I mean,
Happy.
I agree in the respect that he was impactful, certainly, in the team fights. I think he had, obviously, a big impact in the team fights. But I think for me, that mostly came down to draft and the way the game played out. Like having all those Mountain Drakes, having the Shyvana, getting the Dragon buff as well, and the low damage team comp in the enemy team. For me, it's a toss-up. I thought both RP and Cheon played really well. I thought the early laning bot was really good. They were constantly forcing out sums. Thought the team fighting from
It's
Cheon was
Cheon.
really good.
MVP's Cheon.
MVP's
Put it up. MVP's Cheon.
MVP's
Footdown.
Cheon. Crazy. MVP. Wow. Bang, bang.
92 kill participation.
That's big for an AD.
Unreal.
dude.
That's
I was,
crazy.
I was having this conversation internally before as well. I was like, who even gets MVP?
Yeah.
That's why I was set on Cheon.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, turns out a 6-1 and something Callista in a game where he should be heavily targeted. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it just felt like there was no like standout Callista moment where it was like, oh, he's got one
you
kill and he's
noticed.
hopping forwards and he's kiting and he kills them
That
all.
you noticed
Like,
because we were
well,
looking
yeah,
at the huge
yeah.
Shyvana.
Yes,
you know?
but he was just putting in. I mean, the lane phase was really strong, and we needed that against the center Seraphine.
Yeah.
And then he was just putting in work in all those team fights. So I think well deserved.
Well deserved indeed. And of course, that brings us to the end of this game. We got one more game to get to, of course. I'm going to chew my 5 gum to take us into the break. But final game of the day is coming up just after this. It is Dire Wolves and Mammoth. We'll see you after the break.
Talking at the Dragons sent away. Now goes the Dawning Shadow right now. A battle between two junglers. And Leicester wins. It was low. An early smite there gets punished. And Leicester, as well as Gudo, now hunting for that first reset. Kisei in trouble. And Kisei goes down. In go Peace, hunting for more with a soul point. They feel ever so tanky. Flashing forward aggressively. Cheon expends double sums and gets a double kill.
Hey, look, menu pog.
And I get the no beans, and I don't know, I feel like it's so healthy. Is Mexican food healthy? Can someone teach me right now?
I assume it's healthy, but I don't know with any food.
I stopped listening after no
I
beans.
see veggies, I see protein.
No
I'm happy,
beans.
man.
I don't know. I don't know how you can have.
Nah, we're both on the no beans.
No
train.
beans.
Yeah,
Why?
yeah.
No
There's
beans.
solidarity here.
What's
And then we're on the no
It's the
sour,
aftermath.
sour cream.